Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host, Gamer K, and it is Mario Day, ladies and gentlemen, or it will be if I get this video out on time. The Mario series has reached millions around the world in different variations, whether it's great adaptations like the video games with his Olympic crossovers with the blue blur, to not so great adaptations with the very, very first movie. And because the Super Mario Galaxy movie is releasing this year, I thought it'd be great this year if I did a Mario video for Mario Day. And I've gone through bosses, I've just gone through the bosses. But now, it's time for me to take a look at the characters that makes the series fantastic with Gamer K's top 13 Mario characters. And now, rules are important. 1. Actually, there aren't that many rules, considering I can't do one per game because that would be very, very lacking. Big rule is I am excluding the main cast. That's right. I am excluding Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Bowser from this list. Because, let's be honest, if I didn't, they would probably be the top 4 sections, and I would rather have fresh ideas in terms of my videos. Any other rules? Nope, that's pretty much it. Also, only games I've played, and while I played a little bit of Luigi's Mansion 1 and 3, or was it 2? No, 1 and 3 when I was younger, and when I was pet sitting for a neighbor, and I just copied his data and played that instead of replaying I didn't have time. Let's jump down the warp pipe and begin Gamer K's top 13 Mario characters. And why top 13? Because here at the Game Hub, only the odd can be number 1. Very fitting, number 13 is one of my favorite characters that has been so underutilized, it's not even funny. Waluigi here. Waluigi, ever since his debut, I've loved him. He's mostly prominent in the sports games and Mario Kart. I'm still ticked off that he hasn't made appearance in any games outside of that. Not even Wario Land, and I never even played that game. I never had a GameCube. But Waluigi, I just love the design of Waluigi. As contrast to the Mario Switch, having purple and dark blue be perfect for a green and yellow, green and blue of Luigi. Also, I also always love the freaking upside down L. Like, it's so weird for a symbol, but it works absolutely. I love his design being the sleek, thin, kind of sharp jaw kind of design. Really weird looking character. In contrast to Wario's short, fat stature. This dynamic duo needs to be in a game. I mean, hell, Paper Jam could have fucking brought those two into the fray for villains instead of doing what they did. And again, I may have played it once and then got rid of the game. Or, oh wait, did I? Nope, haven't played it, and I never will. So yeah, Waluigi, one of my personal favorite characters. Bottom of the list, because he doesn't have that much presence in any games that have story and development. Seriously. But now that the Mario and Luigi series is back and in full steam again, I'm hoping that Wario and Waluigi get center stage as villains, or at least a boss fight. On to the next. From my very first of the RPG games, and I'm going to be honest, I never played Superstar Saga. It wasn't, when it first came out, I didn't know anything about it. When it did come out, when I did find out about it, I just found it, I mean, I know millions of people love it, but personally, I think it's all over the place. I mean, it's not as structured as some of the others. But my first outing gave us a villain that needs no introduction. I mean, I guess she kind of does, considering I'm introducing her. The main villain of the Partners in Time game, Princess Shroob. This villain is fantastic. And it just goes to show you that you can do an amazing, threatening, and an absolute powerful villain without dialogue. Because aside from her, at the end of the game, actually her speech being translated, everything the Shroobs say is those weird glyphs and everything. And it's done very, 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 very well. And her design is just great. Kind of mimicking Princess Peach, but having that purple mushroom aesthetic and with the claw-like arms and her just regal presence. And you don't need to do you don't need subtitles for an empress like this. An absolute fantastic villain. She's intimidating. Her scheme literally is fantastic. Taking over past Mushroom Kingdom and literally having her shrooboids to be implemented. And she's not in the game that much, just at central parts. And Partners in Time is short. It's kind of a short game compared to the others. But again, every moment she is on screen, she gives an amazing presence as a villain. Her boss fight especially, one of the few times a boss fight, it actually only has one boss fight for a game. Normally they would have her appear earlier and we'd lose. But Princess Shroob gave me many, many difficulties until last year when I finally beat the game for the very first time. And it was a joy. Princess Shroob, you definitely gave us a run for our coins, and proved that not every main threat of Mario has to come from within the Mushroom Kingdom. An intergalactic threat, and it was done justice. And it was done perfectly. Sad that you were mostly used for misdirection and everything, but still love it. Am I going to get in shit for having this character so low from my friends because I know they love her so much? The Queen of the Cosmos, Rosalina. An absolute beauty that came out of nowhere. 2000... When did Super Mario Galaxy come out?
Super Mario Galaxy was published November 1st, 2007.
Almost 20 years. God damn it. But yeah, 2007, a galactic journey came to our screens, and with it came forth an absolute beauty. Rosalina has such depth of even those small stories that we see in the first game of a little girl joining the cosmos and the little star chibis coming around her and being mom and taking care of them. And it's such a beautiful, simplistic story. And I also kind of like that the whole of Super Mario Galaxy, both games, don't depend on, gotta get this right, depend on Rosalina being the focus of the game. Like, it's not her fault. A big threat isn't coming towards her. It's not about her. She's just assisting Mario with the observatory. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I never noticed that before. Yeah, as much as everyone loves Rosalina and her design and style, and also how apparently she's awesome in frickin' Smash Bros, and how good she looks in a biker outfit. Oh, like I'm the only one thinking it. She doesn't have as much lore and story purpose as one would hope for a brand new character being implemented into a new game. That's a different story take for Mario. Look at the bright side. At least she hasn't gotten captured in any of the games. God, I can't believe I said that. But yeah, and also having Captain Marvel voice her in the upcoming movie, and her being a badass. Let's see where this queen takes it in the next game. Let's see how far we can take it. But yeah, I love Rosalina to death. But again, as much as I want to put her higher on my list, there are just so many characters that give so much more story and character, and not just being a gorgeous cosmic goddess in a light aqua dress. I'm hoping not to fall asleep at this next one, which, okay, you know what? I'm not, okay, the joke is a little too much. Dreambert from Dream Team. The Prince of the Pillow Folk. Not gonna lie, not the most annoying companion that we've ever had in a Mario game. I mean, we've had that dumb sentient suitcase that opens up every once in a while in Partners in Time. And then we get a somewhat annoying one in Bowser's Inside Story, but I'll get to her later. But Dreambird just has this kind of feel like he's something abnormal compared to Mario and Luigi of what they've been with near. And being on a different island and a different kingdom definitely gives the feeling that we're the aliens in this situation, and Dreambird is the one who has to adapt to the new things that have happened since he's been asleep. And I will admit, while being regal and being a prince and of himself, or a king, whichever, he definitely has his big fun moments where he's making fun of Luigi for being a warrior, to losing his absolute shit when the Dreamstone Spirit kept refusing to help us, to having his bromance moments with the Z-Keeper when we finally release him and they act like they're old friends, which they are, but it's been a while. So yeah, Dreambird. Again, starting off the lower half of the list again. Well, no. So yeah, Dreambird. Really amazing, brand new character that gives us a lot of lore aspects and gives a lot of humor and substance to him being around. And he's not just there because, we needed a companion character in order to show us around. I didn't think I'd put these guys on the list because they were fun and good in Bowser's Inside Story, and then became absolute traitors, and I'm pretty sure Bowser gave them one too. And then to being an actual pretty good boss fight in Dream Team. This just goes to show the RPG games give us some unique characters and development that other Mario games just really can't. And I'm not bagging on Paper Mario or anything. I'm not. I've never played any of them. So my knowledge of them go out the window. All I know is Count Bleck, that jester character, and the Shadow Queen are some of the best villains. Thank you for that, Josh Scorcher, for informing me on that. But for me, a great character development for this is the Elite Trio, which are a Shy Guy, a Goomba, and a Paratrooper that are basically Bowser's elite team that lead the troops. Now, they seem more like the bumbling idiot type of troops in Bowser's Inside Story, and then they, either by brainwashing or because I think it was brainwashing, they turned traitor. So I was really hoping that we would do something for them and give us a fight, but sadly, no. Until Dream Team came around, and they actually became competent. And I know I don't take boss battles into account for these kinds of lists, but their boss fight is unique. Having each of them have their own type of attacks, the Goomba charging with a whole bunch of his Goomba troops, Shy Guy using his powers to turn all the Goomba troops into copies of him with slight adjustments, and you gotta find the correct one, to the Paratrooper using them to barrel attacks, and also having the giant bonsai bill to shoot the fuck out of us. And I love their boss fight, because you have to defeat all three of them at the same time, but the problem is, if you take one out, the others will heal him a little bit, but not full health. So, damaging them a lot all at once is a real indicator of how to do these boss fights. And the Elite Trio, they had a great moment in both of those games. I'm just a little mad that they didn't have they didn't have any presence in Brothership. Which, honestly, I'm kind of glad, because only having Bowser come out, like, near the end sequence, or, like, near the last half of the game to be a threat, I was happy for it. But, yeah, the Elite Trio. Great characters, great concept, and, honestly, I want to see more of them in the future. Speaking of Brothership, who would have thought a brand new game with a brand new villain would give us a villain that comes right near the ending and is an absolute threat. And one of the reasons why I'm wearing this amazing Vox shirt a friend of mine gave me for Christmas, God damn, it's cool, because I just love screen heads. To that end, Reclusa, this VR headset, light, bright-faced Medusa tentacle cord creature, is the embodiment of absolute evil. And when they talked about Reclusa in the game, once we discover the whole plot and this egg thing with this glowing eye coming out of it, and that's what all the gloam negative energy is being transferred into in order to release it. And finding out that it's a creature, not divine, not demonic, but somewhat in the middle, being that has destroyed so many other worlds, it's a threat that absolutely deserves to be on this list and taken seriously. Although, for the most part, I was almost gonna shrug it off as a villain that's just okay. Because, a lot of the times in the Mario RPGs, they take a big name threat, but they make it sound something that's not so threatening. But then he's revealed, and they gave us the loneliest lord of them all, planning, responsible for separating Concordia to divide up their strength of bonds in order to create Glom, in order to absorb it all, to release himself once again, using Connie's mentor, turning her into Zocket, in order to be the front man of this whole operation. And then doing a danger that is actually realistic. Having tech flowers encapsulate all of the... And then Reclusa's huge scheme at the final act. Growing these flowers that attach to the citizens and giving them an artificial, perfect world, and that's they're dreaming of. A perfect world where they are secluded from everyone else. Basically, he's a VR person. Having these people live in these fictional realities so that they're happy and content, but oblivious to what the world is going to be destroyed. Also, Reclusa can be the loneliest of them all and have a world of absolute solitude. I love that they took a theme like bonding with people and making connections with people even though you're far apart, and bringing people together while facing a villain that imbues that solitude, that lonely life. And they do it in such a fun, mature way without it seeming too Saturday morning cartoonish. And I really, really love it. And Reclusa is fantastic. Amazing design. The build up to its debut was done so well, but not in such a way that people could see, oh, there's going to be an ancient threat being released. But it's announced, but it's in not a way that it would be foreseen. And once again, being the only Mario and Luigi game to have no Bowser-influenced final boss. Yeah. Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team, Paper Jam, 6 games. Wait, Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team. 5 games of the Mario and Luigi series. And this is the only one to not have a Bowser copy boss fight. And I love that. Yes, Reclusa uses people and his minions, but he does not need any help from anyone. And I've been hoping for that for so long. And it is definitely worth being a great villain, a great character. It's in the half of the list because it did partake in like the end. And I do love the character. I do love it. But again, and because it came out like, when did Mario and Luigi Brothership come out?
Here's what I found.
Oh, 2 years ago. Okay. But again, Reclusa, fantastic villain. Fantastic threat. Amazing final boss fight at the end. But again, there are just a lot more characters that I like a lot more. Well, I'm going to be honest, if I can't have Bowser on this list, I might as well have his right-hand man, Kamek, the Magic Koopa, in charge of Bowser's entire fortress. Kamek definitely makes a lot of presence throughout the series. We fight young Kamek in Partners in Time. Does he help? No, he doesn't appear in Bowser's Inside Story. He does appear in Dream Team and is an absolute menace in that game, which, again, I love Dream Team so much because they give so many of these Bowser characters such energy and such screen time. Because all the boss fights with him in Neo Bowser Castle is perfect. And then we have that weird moment in Dream Team where he pretended to be Peach. Yeah. And again, I love that he is Bowser's second in command. He's not the same size as Bowser, obviously. He's not the same species. He's a Magic Koopa. But at the same time, Bowser Bowser respects his minions. He respects them in the same way they so much respect him. He's not a tyrant that treats them like garbage whenever they. Okay, actually, that's not true. He does yell and get pissed whenever they fail, but at the same time, he still sees them as a family in a way. And he does respect Kamek so much. And Kamek having great moments in brothership. I can't get to them yet because that's for another segment later. But again, being a great secondary side villain to Bowser's, again, second in command, having great boss fights, great personality, and having great moments throughout this the future games. Honestly, it would be a crying shame if Kamek isn't done more in the future of the Mario and Luigi games. And again, short segment, but again, Kamek, short, sweet, amazing. What more can I say? Where did they come up with this guy? I mean, Midbus. He's Bowser if you made a warthog with an armadillo shell. And he always talks weird, just like Fawful too, and is seriously weird. But again, I love it. I love that they gave us a Bowser duplicate kind of character to help out in Bowser's Inside Story. And obviously being Bowser's somewhat rival throughout the game. Being defeated easily in the tutorial section for Bowser. Being a rematch in Bowser's own castle. And then being confronted again as Blizzard Midbus being upgraded by Fawful in Peach's castle. Again, doesn't have so much screen time, doesn't have a lot of moments between Bowser, would have loved more. But some of the moments with him are just when he's with Fawful. Like when Fawful's carrying Princess Peach and asks for Midbus's help, and Midbus is just standing there and just walks away. Again, some of the humor with these games is non-verbal, which I love. And I do love Midbus. He's a great secondary villain, kind of like what Kamek is to Bowser, being Fawful's sidekick. And I would love to know where they met, because Fawful got defeated in Superstar Saga, and it wasn't until this game that he came back, except for being in the underground for Partners in Time, but only the babies knew. But again, I love the design. And I even love when he becomes Blizzard Midbus. His color changes and his hard shell becomes fur. So he ditches his brute force attacks and his ability to roll into a ball and utilizes his more ice type prowess. And again, great secondary character, great original design. Love when they give weird characters like this a lot of spotlight, and they could have just made him into a generic enemy or a generic boss near the game, but they made him into an absolute annoying threat for Bowser. And I guess it's nice that Bowser kind of got a taste of his own medicine of what he's had to put Mario and Luigi and all the Mushroom Kingdom for. So he finally understands what it's like to be an a-hole. Okay, I'm putting 3 characters again together because they are a set and I do love them. Oh, the pun name. The fucking pun. As we fight our way through Concordia, or the islands of Concordia, we find the henchmen working the islands and being the threats. We have X, Ten, and Shun, the leaders of the Extension Corps. Whoever was responsible for character design and everything for Brothership, you hit your pun quota for the rest of your life. These guys are the same kind of level that the Elite Trio is, or Mid-Bus and Kamek, being the minions that undergo the going onto the islands and causing problems and doing all that good stuff, but doing it in such a fun way, and their designs are so unique. And you can definitely tell which one is which if you've played the game before. So it's not like one of those ones are, well, which one's that again? Because they actually have names and they're not just called Goomba, Elite Goomba, or Elite Shy Guy, like in the Elite Trio. Excuse me. But all three of them are fantastic on their own. But together they add up to a lot of comical moments. X being the pink floating guy, and I hate that we didn't get to fight them each individually, except for 10. We only got to fight him once when he's first introduced, and I love the extension cord, his cannon arm, and his body proportions are not proper. I love that kind of unhinged design look. And I love that the cord is his pompadour. I absolutely love it. And he kind of gives this kind of Danny Zuko Thunderbird biker guy, cool guy looks from like the old school. Because technically, yeah, extension cords are obsolete basically for a lot of people. And I just love the old school feel of him and his personality being the main talker of the group and the strategic one. Ix being the pink one and the floating looking one. I love his personality, how he loves to ramble and just interrupt people while they're talking and then losing his cool right off the bat. I love it. And then we have Shun, who's obviously the strengthy looking one, who when he's about to talk, the other two interrupt him almost constantly throughout the game. So he is the silent, not the silent type, but the type that gets interrupted a lot and is also the goof. They just add so much personality throughout the game. And I do love that. Being bumbling nits half the time, but actually not being like, they're comic relief, but they're not stupid comic relief. They're great characters and definitely deserve their spot near the top of this list. Their final boss fight, on the other hand, is a little bit more challenging, considering you really gotta think smart and do things you never really would have, because, yeah, you play the game and you'll see what I mean. But yeah, X10 and Shun, you guys had one outing. And then after being beaten and after realizing Zocket was just a masterful puppet for Reclusa, they actually join our side when we're looking for strong bonds and everything. And yeah, even though they were villains at the start, do you know what they remind me of? They remind me of Finn, Chow, and Ratso from Jackie Chan Adventures. The trio villain group that works for the main villain, but then afterwards they have some falling out and then they switch sides. That's what they remind me of. And it was so fun to see a kind of characters like that again. And, oh, it was so good. They only had one big outing, and I doubt we'll ever see them again. But you know what? For the little bit we had with them, they became some of my favorite characters of all time. Okay, I got a puzzle for you, Nintendo. What happens when you take one of your most annoying companions ever created, give it a yellow paint job, put a little star on top of its head, give it feet, and make it annoyingly chipper, but also give it an absolute attitude problem half the time? And in which case, we have Starlo, a great character from Bowser's Inside Story to previous games. Being a star guardian or a star spirit. Is Starlo a guy or a girl? I've always been confused about that. Okay, she. Starlo is a she. Okay, just wanted to double check. She's annoying half the time. Although, unlike other irritating characters like I just mentioned in this segment, she's useful. She helps out for the adventure. She makes No, wait, it was Starlo it was Starlo that made the comments about Luigi not being a strong warrior, not Dreambird. Sorry. It's been a while since I played all these games, so it's been a while. But yeah, Starlo is very useful, has this kind of very upbeat, chipper attitude throughout the adventures. But again, when she needs to be a hard ass, she is, and I love it. I love how chipper characters are usually always happy-go-lucky and never being serious. But Starlo does get serious half the time in all 3 games, and I love it. And I love her bond with Peach. I love that Peach now has a best friend that she can always count on throughout the games. I said best friend in the games, not just the sports games. Seriously, when is she going to be in a main game as well? Well, yeah. Starlo, she may be small, she may be chipper, but great character and a great companion for the entirety of the Luigi series. Now, I only hope she is used a little bit more in the next game. Okay, the top 2, the 3 and 2 spots could have gone either way because there's only one number 1 for me. And I had to go back and forth about this a lot, but overall, number 3, I can't have the big bad Koopa King himself, so I'm going to have his offspring, which is never fully explained ever in any of the games, and despite that he has multiple Koopalings. So, can someone explain that a little bit, if possible, or maybe not? I'm talking about the little menace himself that gave our Island Delfino vacation a much-needed debut. We have Bowser Jr. I love this little shit. From his design to the scarf he wears that has the teeth drawn on it, to his penchant for evil artistry with his magic brush. I love it. I love it. Didn't love him so much in Sunshine, which I played at my cousin's many, many years ago. I did not really care for everyone having voices. God damn it. And then he appears again. He's one of my aces in Mario Kart. I love him, and I love his vehicles, and I love just him. I love Bowser Jr. so much. Definitely has his dad's personality and prowess for wanting to go after Mario and Luigi, but not so much in the games I like. I mean, he's an absolute chip off the old shell in the other games like the Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, being a big threat, having his own boss fights with his mechs, which again I love to death. And then he makes his he's a secret boss in Dream Team, which I didn't really care for. I didn't really do it. But then he's a boss fight in Paper Jam. He's got a bigger purpose in Paper Jam with his paper duplicate copy with his counterpart. Again, never played it, so I'm not so much loving it. But then he is in Brothership. We don't get a boss fight with Junior, and I'm happy about that because he gets so much development in this game for those small bits he's there. Like I said, Bowser and his minions happen in the halfway point of the game, and the bits where he's on this outcast island where Bowser's minions go and paper the town, basically saying Mario and Luigi are the villains and the Bowser's troops are there to protect the island. Where Bowser Jr. meets Buddy, an inhabitant of Concordia and of the island, and they form a quick friendship. Their friendship is one of the best things to happen in this game. It makes me, oh my God. I mean, even though he does lie that Mario and Luigi are evil, and Buddy kind of questions that because watching them fight the monsters and everything kind of questions it. And then I can't give it away so much, but the development we have with Buddy and Bowser Jr. definitely is something I was not expecting in this game. And even Kamek, who's at Bowser Jr.'s side, basically tells him about what a friend is. And because Bowser Jr. hasn't had any friends. He's just had the minions who do what he says. But Kamek basically teaches him and tells him that a friend is someone who, yeah, you argue with once in a while and things aren't always perfect, but it's someone who you can rely on. I mean, how Kamek is technically Bowser's best friend. I mean, if the movie's anything to go by as well. And Bowser and Jr. having so many realizing moments and actual amazing moments with this new character that is just development, amazing development for character growth and amazing growth at that. And now we get Junior in the new movie, and I can't wait to see what they do with him. I'm hoping they do something great. And I know he has the paintbrush, and he better use it right. The number 2 spot could only go to the King of Nightmares, the Bat King himself, the menace of Dream Team, Antasma. He will. Oh, another great character. Another great original villain and great design. From his bat form to his cloaked human, minimized form that he can do, to his dream form, which is an absolute menace. All 3 of his forms. I talked about Antasma a lot because he's that great of a villain. From design to his scheme to actually working well with Bowser in the beginning to then be fucking tossed aside when Bowser has his way to. Antasma has had so much lore right from the get-go of Dream Team, and then to build it, his threat and his boss fights. Whether it's the small moments or the big final moment that literally made it to my gimmick type bosses, and to whoever made that glitch in the game, I see you. I see what you were trying to do. And overall, he is just another fantastic character. Great design, great presence in his own game. Had so many fun moments with Bowser of being irritated by Bowser. And as great as he is, if you guys have been watching my channel from a long time ago, you guys can probably guess my number 1. We have the beef and the mustard of evil. We will have toilets. Lord Fawful. There is no character outside of Bowser that deserves the spot as one of the greatest villains of the Mario series. The Shadow Queen, Count Black, that, I can't remember the name, that jester freak from the Paper Mario games, they ran so Fawful could absolutely steamroll the competition. Even though with threats of the right after Superstar Saga, him being a lone minion of the main villain was great enough. But then his scheming for revenge gave us something greater. With amazing villains like the Shrew Princesses, the Dark Star, Phantasma, and goddamn Reclusa, Fawful remains as the symbol of crazy yet intelligent, of funny yet intimidating, of a psychotic genius mixed with a little psychotic regular. Fawful does nothing short of amazing schemes and does nothing short of making us all laugh when he's on screen. From his bizarre, crazy, convoluted speech to his absolute menacing way he took over the Mushroom Kingdom and implemented his own minions in there by himself. Okay, yeah, he does have Midbus, but Midbus is just there for muscle. Fawful did all of this on his own. Right after his defeat in Superstar Saga, he plotted for revenge. He plotted, and he literally was 20 steps ahead of everyone. Knowing Bowser would be weak after the vacuum shroom, he takes him outside into the outskirts of the kingdom in order to plan more. He knew Bowser would go to his castle. He made everyone in that castle be brainwashed. He knew during the story he would be looking for the star cures. He had the elite trio lock him up and withhold information. He knew he was going to fight him at Peach's castle. He turned it into a giant motherfucking robot. Fawful, maybe crazy, but also, he knew Peach was absorbed into Bowser as well. So when he allowed the Mario Bros to go find Peach, he was ready and waiting to extract her when the time came. And his scheme of reviving the Dark Star to gain its evil power, to make him even more fury. Every freaking moment this psychotic being is on screen, you're in for a laugh, you're in for a challenge, you're in for entertainment. Crazy, intellectual, psychotic, that makes the Joker look like he's finger painting, while Fawful is creating a crazy Mona Lisa masterpiece. Yeah, I love Joker so much, but compared to Fawful, his level of insanity wouldn't even fill a file at Arkham if Fawful were there. Fawful was given to us for the RPG series. From being a sidekick villain to being his own master and giving us a great, fantastic game that gave us both sides to enjoy. And that is why the chocolate-loving, psychotic grin that is Lord Fawful is my favorite Mario character. And that's all I have to say about that. I've said enough. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen, for Mario Day. Like, comment, subscribe down below, and join me next week where I get to take a little bit of a break by going over a Funko review that is of an artistic thief that for some reason still has not created that greatest nude painting. This is Gamer K, logging out.